Greetings and welcome back. This is Into the Nexus, the podcast all about Heroes of the Storm. I'm Garrett Weinzerl. I'm sitting here with Kyle Ferguson. And Kyle, this is our patron call-in episode for January awesome. 2016. Yeah.
So, I mean, do we limit ourselves here? We're doing a show tomorrow.
Yep.
There's so much to talk about. I'm interested to know what kind of questions people are going to call in with, and if we'll be probing into tomorrow's show.
It could happen. It's okay. But, you know, it is what it is. It's a good time to have a call-in show. It'll give, if nothing else, we'll get some really horrendously unprepared reactions from you and I, at least, on the new patch, on the new hero. I did get to try leaving out just about an hour ago at the start of my lunch hour. I was like, nice. Why eat when I can be a wizard?
Pretty much.
Exactly. Because if you're a wizard, you can just make your own food. So you can conjure it.
Right. But is it fake? I've always wondered about that. Like, does Weasley house have to pay a water bill when Weasley, summons water out of their wands?
I would assume no, because it's not getting metered if you're essentially creating it out of thin air.
Right. And if you transmogrify a mouse into a teacup, do you never buy teacups? Or do you just murder mice? And where did the mice come from? Do people buy the mice? I'm just very unclear how the world of Harry Potter makes any money.
Never really thought about any of that, but that's okay. That's all right. Anyway, if this is your first time listening to a Patron Hangout, what we do here is our patrons over at patreon.com/ITN, they have access to a Skype account that is specific for this podcast. And they get to call in and be a part of the show, and that's what's happening today. We already have multiple people calling in at the same time. So to the live audience, if you're watching right now, you can call in whenever you want, as many times as you want. It's not going to screw anything up. I've got all the Skype sounds disabled, so don't feel like, oh man, I'm going to mess stuff up. But we're going to take one caller at a time, and we'll bring in another caller when the current caller is done. So we've already been getting some calls, and let's take our first caller, Kyle. Mr. Chris. Welcome to the show, Chris. If Chris can hear us. Doesn't sound like he can. Off to a good start.
He's got a little exclamation point over his picture. What's important here is the chat has informed me that due to the laws of magic in Harry Potter, you can't make your own food. But you can blast your own water, which is why I brought that up.
Water is, well, it's a drink. It's not food, but
right.
Is it potable?
Then if I choose to turn that water into soda, which has calories in it, can I sustain myself off magic?
Very good question. One that will not be answered today. Let's get Cheesy Bob in here.
Sounds good.
Hopefully that will work. Are you there, Cheesy Bob?
Hi.
Hello. That is a festive shirt you're wearing.
It's just what I wear. I wear tie-dye basically all the time.
I'm not sure why I'm getting a message that I need Skype Premium to make a group video call. I thought that was done away with.
Skype have an issue? No.
Yeah. So apparently you guys are going to be nice and dark. For no reason at all. Thanks, Skype.
Sweet.
Thanks.
Cool. Well, so I can see Kyle and myself.
You won't be able to see me because of the way
but not you.
The way this overlay functions, it's impossible.
You're getting to look at all the important people, though.
Thanks, Kyle. Thanks.
Self-reflection and me.
Anywho, what's up, Cheesy Bob? What have you brought to the table today?
I had a thing that I wanted to lead with, and I forgot what it was. So I'm just gonna go straight to my big question, which is, so I've been teaching my wife to play, and she's never played like an RTS game before, and it's really kind of a fascinating thing. And I'm wondering, you taught Justin's wife to play, right?
Ashley,
Garrett?
Miss Ashley, yes.
Yeah. So what sort of stuff did you... So I think for me, one of the biggest things that's very interesting to me is that sort of like map awareness has at this point in my playing has become kind of like a second nature skill to me. Yep. And like I'll be in one lane and I'll like glance at the mini map and I'll say, "Hey, you need to like get back now."
That's okay.
Right? And
I mean, it's probably not the best because you're not explaining to her why she should get back.
Well, because I look at the mini-map and I'm like, they're like already on their way. Like they're about there. And then she's like, what? Ah! And then dies.
Right. So that's not necessarily the best way. I mean, it depends. If she's the type of person that doesn't seem fazed when someone almost with no warning at all screams at her, then that's probably okay. But
I'm not screaming. I'm just like, oh God, get back. Because I'm looking at my hero, like I'm getting, dealing some stuff, and then I move back and I realize that I'm literally basically like looking at the minimap every time I'm not actively dealing with something going on in my immediate hero's vicinity. And it's sort of interesting to note that that's something that it's really fascinating. I think one of the things that I think is very interesting is how there's skills you acquire and then you don't think of them as like impressive or hard to acquire, but then when you see someone else who doesn't have them, it's like, oh wow, that's like a thing.
Oh yes, that is very true of anything that you can become proficient at: music, art, etc. But no, I mean, when I went into that, I knew Ashley had zero experience with MOBAs. So really the big thing I was kind of focusing on was keeping it as simple as possible, not trying to overload her with information, which also the chat room at the time was doing a wonderful job of completely overloading information. Because I would say something and everyone's like, but it also means this. I'm like, yes, you are correct, but that is not important right now. What is important right now is learning that right-click moves you. And that's all you really need to know. We don't need to talk about stutter stepping at this moment. We don't need to talk about managing your globals. Yeah.
Right, that's doing something you're already doing and making it more efficient. It's interesting that you're having this problem with Heroes of the Storm. I taught Kristen to play MOBAs through Dota, where the map is huge. And there's also some really cool tools. Like I can be coach mode, where we go into a game and I hover in the background as observer and I can draw on the map that she can see while she plays in real time. So I can be like, go here and follow the bouncing ball, kind of like, and then I just let her around the whole map. So she got a feel of how the flow goes. But mainly that the map is huge. So if someone disappears in the middle lane, you've got 2 minutes. Not really, but it feels like that before they show up in your lane. Whereas Heroes, it's like, oh, where? Oh, they're here already.
Yeah, that's really a good point. So I think in that case, it's what I would probably do is just explain the minimap, explain that look for red dots. If you see them coming towards the dot that is you, get cautious. Or if you don't see any red dots, get cautious. And maybe leave it at that for now.
Well, so the thing that actually has been really helpful, and the only time we've gone into quick match was as Cho'Gall. And so then I'm completely controlling where we are and like map awareness, and it's kind of funny because going in as I'm playing on a Smurf with her, so like basically the idea is that like we're only going to play those two accounts together so that like the MMR actually matches, so I don't like go play quick match on my main account and like get my MMR way up, and then I play with her and we're playing against, and she's complete beginner. And it's very funny because we completely just dominated our first few games because it was like, these people who it's like all these account level, like 4 or 5 account levels. And I'm just like, I'm sitting here as like someone who has, well over a year of experience running around as Cho'Gall and just basically telling her, just shoot stuff at people and do damage. It's all good.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of an art, right? Like trying to teach a new player how to play these type of games. And I really just think keeping it simple is the best thing possible. Now, if you're playing games with her and you're in it, there's nothing wrong with being like, no, you should do this. Oh, you're dead. I mean, it's a natural reaction, and that's going to happen. I
think that's because she's actually starting to actually get better at it, right? So that is something where I was just, now it's been like, originally it was just like, oh, you're using your abilities, great, Like the first hero she bought was Lily, and my advice to her is like, just make sure you always use your W when you can.
Yeah.
Right, it's like just make sure you use like one skill all the time, and Lily's pretty good for that because basically you should just always have a serpent on somebody.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. It's just an interesting thing to talk about. And I think I would, if anybody has like a friend who hasn't played much MOBA or hasn't played Dota, but like isn't like totally opposed to computer games in general,
right? You
should try teaching them because it's a really sort of fascinating learning experience, and it kind of, I think, in some ways gives you an appreciation for how hard the game actually is.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I didn't really think of trying to deconstruct all the different layers until I was coaching Ashley for that stream. And yeah, to try and trying to explain to someone with zero knowledge, it takes a while. It's hard to cut through down to the bare minimum of where you really need to start. And for the most part, it's movement, it's positioning, and it's. I mean, honestly, when you first get in the game, the big thing is like every battleground is different, every objective is different. And
right? Yes, that took a while. Where it's like we kept being on these new battlegrounds, and I'm like, oh, okay, so this one you need to pick up the gems that the spiders drop, and no, they're spiders this time, they're not archer guys. And well, now we have these, okay, well now, but this time there's going to be this thing that pops and we need to stand on it and capture it, but like these things are going to attack, but don't get too low because then they're all just going to come in and steamroll us. It's actually, I think that it might be a good thing to start for Blizzard to actually like reduce the map pool on like a weekly basis. So there's only like 4 or 5 maps as opposed to 9.
Yeah, I would agree. Because, I mean, when we talk about heroes a lot, in comparison to other MOBAs, we tend to talk about it as if it is significantly simplified from Dota 2 and League of Legends.
Well, it is, and that's the crazy part. It's like it's way simpler, but it's still crazy.
But at the same time, for a brand new player that's just coming in, the idea of understanding the map in Dota is a much simpler idea to get your head around in a broad stroke fashion, whereas you get into Heroes, and every damn map is different. It's not like Halo, where it's like, I just want to play deathmatch. You can just play deathmatch game after deathmatch game after deathmatch game. Yes, the maps are going to change, but the objective is always the same.
Right.
So that helps to come from other games, too. I mean, keyboards are atrocious. Like, what the heck? And the mouse and the cord and the wheel and the Y, the Q, and controllers make sense. You put them in their hands and they go, oh, okay, I'm just going to press as many buttons as possible. But the keyboard, they probably only ever use for work. If you're coming from, like, World of Warcraft, you already have a little bit of min-maxing in your mind. So when you see something like Protective Shield, 15% maximum health, you can make the connection, oh, that's for tanks. But otherwise, it just doesn't even register.
Right, yes. And it's one of those things where I think we haven't even really kind of gone into sort of build diversity, right? That's a whole nother ball of wax where basically I will just like tell her what talent to pick at this point. Just like, I look up a top build and I maybe edit it just a little bit for more survivability. I'm like, well, so if you're playing Vala auto attack build, you probably should pick, Ranker, but actually maybe go for the health steal, the vampiric attacks one.
Right, that's absolutely something I would do with a new player. I would not get into talents and what to pick and why to pick it and how it affects your build. I would absolutely just give them a stub build and, all right, just learn how to use your abilities. We'll worry about build diversity way down the road.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because, it's like one of those things where like she's actually really happy when the daily quests match up with the hero she's played before. And for me, I'm like, I want to try all the heroes, right? Like when I first joined the game, I was like, I don't have all the heroes, but I want all the heroes, and I now have all the heroes. But anyway.
See, for me, that came with time. When I first played, I gravitated to like 3 heroes, and I just wanted to play those 3. Now that I've played damn near every hero in the game, I like a varied experience. Maybe not in Hero League, but I definitely.
Did you play any MOBAs before, Garrett?
Yes, I played Dota 2.
Okay.
Under the tutelage of Kyle.
Yes, that's one of those things. Like, I don't know how I first learned to play Dota. Like, I think it was my brother discovered it, but like him and I kind of learned together.
Yeah.
And it's just this. It is this thing. Like I said, it's just such an interesting experience to take someone who knows absolutely nothing about the genre. From I've been playing. I played Dota back in 2006, so that was over 10 years ago that I first learned this style of game, and it's like. It's sort of part of my brain now.
Right. Well, depending on your age then, too, like, it could have been a very different world that you learned that game. And, like, when I play console games, I still get this in my head. I'm like, why do I have to get up? Why do I have to move? What's wrong with my legs that my knees get stiff? Why am I hungry? And, well, it's because I used to just sit there all day playing Banjo-Kazooie, and then Mom would say, hey, come, lunch is ready. So I eat lunch, and it was just there, and I could have it next to me. But I didn't have to make my lunch, and I didn't have to worry about cleaning my house because it just would happen around me. I'd have to, like, pick up my feet while the vacuum came by, but otherwise it was Banjo-Kazooie 24/7.
Man, your mom was super cool. I had to do so many chores.
Oh, no. I earned those, my good man. Those were well-earned days. There was certainly weeding. Oh.
Yes.
I remember at a very young age, we actually console games ended up getting banned from the house because my mom thought they were like the devil. Because the example that she always used was she did an experiment to see how long I would play on my own, and I played for 6 hours straight until like 2 a.m. and then eventually she like woke up, saw I was still awake, and just like turned off the TV and went back to bed.
What? That's casual. 2 a.m.
Well, I mean, at 2 a.m. for like 8-year-old.
No, definitely. And I
That's-
got laws
that's
put on
intense.
me too.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to play console games any day except for Friday nights and Saturdays.
Oof, never mind. I retract my previous statement. That's some strict parenting.
Right. That's why Saturdays were like all day marathons. But, I did realize that these grades didn't really matter. I would just get yelled at, but I always get yelled at. So, you can just play video games all night and homework's boring. And if you get good at lying, also known as acting, you can get out of quite a few homework assignments by losing it or turning in assignments that are covered in water and whatnot.
I don't blame any of the parents that just slapped the stop button on their iPhone with their kid in the room.
Right.
I don't blame any of you. But Cheesy Bob, man, thank you for calling in. I hope the training goes well. It sounds like it is. It sounds like you already have a pretty good handle on how to game with.
Yeah, no, I'm actually really stoked. Like I didn't think that she would be into it at all. Like I was like, oh well, I'll just play my Smurf with her and she'll try it out. If she likes it, that's great, and I'll get my 2 level 10 characters toward my Vulture mount. But like we're now both past level 20 on those accounts. So
Hell yeah. It's not
so
too bad.
definitely it's pretty cool. And so you should try it with people who might not like it. And you'd be surprised. Sometimes it's a fun game. So
I've been trying to convince Katie for a while. She hates PvP games. She really does. So it's been
so my wife has
hard
never
sell.
played a PvP game before, and I think one of the things for her is she doesn't really care. But, like, she doesn't get super invested in it, and it's like, oh well, I died, or oh we lost, no big deal,
Yeah, well, it's a good mindset to have. Well, thanks, Cheesy Bob. I'm gonna grab the next caller, but thanks for calling in.
Right, keep it real.
I will try my best.
Oh, he's been awesome. But now that he's gone, let's flatter him.
Oh yeah,
Not
let's
here.
just flatter Cheesy Bob. Oh, we can hear you, Chris.
Oh,
it worked
okay.
this time.
Okay.
We're flattering Cheesy Bob. Just one moment.
Right. It's been a delight seeing so many of our patrons improve over the course of our after show games.
Yeah,
And
agreed.
he is a beast now.
Yeah. Hey, Chris.
Hey,
Your microphone is questionable at best, but we'll try and make this work.
probably because I'm trying to do it from my phone.
Ah, that would explain a lot.
Yes.
Well, we can hear you. There's just
Okay.
some weird artifact sounds here and there.
Okay. Let me try turning off some stuff on my network and see if that helps. I don't know what I missed.
Oh, that's nice. Yes, you did it.
Yeah, you sound good, man.
Oh, okay.
Sweet.
Here down fixes everything. Okay.
Well, we were just talking about bringing new players into the game, and if you're showing them around. But do you have a question? We could absolutely start a new topic.
Oh no, I had a couple of different questions. I had Star Wars on the brain because just getting caught up with my podcast.
Ah,
You.
did you listen to a certain Star Wars podcast that I may be a part of?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So I just got caught up on that. But I'll save that for another time. So I guess I didn't hear yet. I assume you guys have already played The Wizard.
I have. Have you, Kyle?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Okay. So is it too early to have any kind of idea what you think of them yet, or
I mean,
we save that for the show proper?
well, I mean, tomorrow we're definitely going to dive into it and spend some time kind of hammering out exactly where we want to take the conversation. But we can give you gut reactions now. There's no reason we can't have that discussion. I mean, right off the bat, Kyle, I do have to ask you: did you do a little dance? Did you fist pump when you tried magic missiles for the first time and you realized that you completely nailed how it was going to work?
Yes,
in terms
I
of
did.
targeting?
I was a little excited about that.
Yeah.
Calling the hourglass.
Yeah, I hit it. Well, so it's you can change it, like wherever your mouse cursor is, you can you can change the shit. You can make it an hourglass, or it can just be an arrow, more or less.
Right, if you aim out far enough.
Yeah, exactly. And then actually, if you aim out really far, it spreads wide without crossing. Only to a certain point. I don't think you can get it perfectly straight, but you can actually get it to where they don't converge at all.
Right, I couldn't get it to aim off the mini-map, so I could shoot in a wide array, but I don't know when I'd want to do that anyway.
I'm not sure when you would either. You could just shoot it really close to yourself, and it would go off in a wide array.
Just spray and pray is my plan.
Exactly, yeah. It's like a scatter shot.
Exactly.
But I mean, my gut reaction, Chris, is I really like the kit. I like that. For some reason, I assumed there was going to be a lot more channeling involved in the wizard. Just in my brain, I don't know why, but I like that it's a lot of just fire and keep moving. Because I mean, she is made of paper. You can make her made out of even thinner paper if you take the glass cannon talent.
I gave the analogy that she has the health pool of a thimble.
Yeah, that is not incorrect.
Yeah, my gut reaction was I'm not going to play her for the same reason I don't play Illidan.
Why is that?
I'm thinking that a bad wizard on your team is going to be just as bad as having a bad Illidan on your team. Because I had one last night, and it was driving me nuts. Submarine Illidan.
Yeah, it is ranged though, and the arcane orb I think will seduce a lot of maybe less skilled players because it's rather set and forget it and stand far back, and you should be able to do decent range at least. I mean, I see a lot of bad gray mains, and I'm one of them actually in the world. And with that one, if you don't understand it, you're not doing any damage.
Right.
Yeah. Whereas,
so at least with the wizard, I think she'll be able to put out something.
Right. Yeah, the arcane orb's interesting. Just the way she's built overall, the fact that you really want to be at max distance as much as you can be, if for no other reason than for your safety, but because also it makes arcane orb do the most damage. But it also, I mean, at the same time, it can make landing your arcane missiles difficult because the travel time on those, they're a pretty slow projectile.
Right, but I'm thinking because everything she has is based on skill shots.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be right in front of somebody, but you have to aim.
That's true.
At aiming, then you're just not hitting anything.
Yeah.
And wasting all that mana that she drains all of it out of. Plus, you can do it over and over again. So, I missed him. Let me try again. I missed him. Let me try again. Where's my mana gone?
Yeah, I still feel like arcane orb that's a huge skill shot. It's really hard to miss. I mean, yeah, it's not as easy as just clicking W on Kael'thas and putting Living Bomb on who you want to put it on, but as in the realm of skill shots, she is probably one of the easiest to land and one of the hardest to land skill shots.
Well, and the cooldowns are frequent enough that someone who doesn't have the skills to land auto attacks, I think will still have decent damage. I mean, look at what's happening with Nova right now in the PTR. The new build has very cool opportunities for awesome sniping Novas to get a lot done on the map. Granted, Snipe's a lot smaller now, so they have to land multiple snipes to do the exact same thing they did earlier. But with talents, reduce cooldown when you hit, more damage if you keep hitting heroes over and over again. Pro players, yes, they'll run with it. Whereas everyone else who is, complaining about Nova right now, she lost all her power, they're going with a pinning shot build because you can actually just right-click what you want and cast it on exactly who you want.
Makes sense.
Okay.
The Nova changes, man. So many changes. So many things I
haven't been able to keep up with any of it.
There's a lot of them. I haven't even made it all the way through the notes yet. So
I was in a PTR game last night with a guy who just wouldn't stop complaining about his Nova. Oh, they ruined this, they ruined that. And I just wanted to say to him, those changes aren't for you, right? They're for the rest of us.
Yeah.
They're not to make your Nova better or change her up to be better in a different way. They are just for the sanity of this poor community.
Somebody like me who only wants to kill Nova and doesn't have any interest in playing her.
Right. It did get a little harder. Some of those decoy talents, like the one that increases the duration, that one is just tricking me 24/7 right now.
I've always, yeah. I'm not really looking forward to seeing decoys that make me think it's a real Nova even more than they already did.
Right, but the plus side is there's no multiple decoy builds.
That I like. That I do like. So, but overall, I'm digging the wizard. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, my preview, my sneak peek is I'm positively giddy.
I really like the kit. I really like the kit. It seems like Disintegrate does not nearly as much damage as I thought it would do.
That's because you should be
Yeah.
using Wave of Force.
Oh, so you mean something they put in the game is a trick? Like it shouldn't have been put in the game?
No,
is
no,
that your argument, Kyle? Because that's a shitty argument.
No. I can defend Disintegrate. All right, here you go. Disintegrate feels bad when you're doing it. When you're being hit by Disintegrate, it's awful.
That's a good point.
So it's the same exact thing as Vala's Hungering Arrow. You get hit by that, and you're like, what an inconvenience. I'm at half health. It all bounced on me. This sucks. I have to go hearth back. Whereas on the enemy team, you're like, what the heck? I unleashed everything I had on them, and they're only at half health. Vala sucks.
That's actually a good point.
And it's just a mix of perceptions.
Yeah. Or
Like you cast Crackle, Garrett.
Yep.
You get a 3. Feels bad, man.
Well, that's slightly different because there is a variance there. Disintegrate does the same thing for 2 people. Anyway, thanks for calling, Chris.
Yeah, no problem.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
Let's grab Mr. Brian.
Ooh.
Hey.
The master.
Yep.
The
How you doing?
Well, Master DS.
But
Yeah. Yep. That's me. Anyway,
Welcome to the show, sir.
so last 2 times I talked about what heroes could come. Talked about Alarak and Overwatch.
Yep.
How about Activision characters? Want to talk about that?
Did we already? I feel like we already talked about this.
Probably.
we got an email, I think.
Oh, it was an email. People were saying they should put Destiny characters in
I
heroes.
think they should put Tony Hawk in. Think about it. He can do a kickflip. He can his trait can be like he does a grind move on like the edges of walls, so he moves fast when he's going along walls. He could do you could have like talents for that. That's like 50-50, and that has a thing. Or
Right.
Dark Slide.
Of course. And then they released a new map for him where you have to grab all the letters to spell skate.
And then you have to grab a VHS tape, and everyone born after 90 would go, what is that? I don't get what
It's the
this
thing you
is.
collect in Tony Hawk.
Yeah, it's just something. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's something specific to Tony Hawk that
Yeah.
it will be as real to them as a Pokeball.
His heroic would be to take out a Nokia flip phone and do something with it.
No, it would be a
He has 2 heroics.
It would. What was it? What was the Nokia gaming system they had that was also a
The
phone?
taco
No.
thing.
No.
It was like a.
The
What was it?
the N gauge. The N
N-Gage,
gauge.
yeah,
The
the
N
taco.
gauge. Yes, that was made by Nokia, and there was actually an exclusive Tony Hawk game for it.
Yeah.
That's what he would have to pull out. Yeah, man. I mean, it doesn't fit at all with the aesthetic of the game. However,
I think you could find. You know what?
The other-
Overwatch is not far away from having a skateboarding hero.
Well,
It could
We're already
really
on
fit.
rollerblades, though.
yeah,
I mean,
we're already on
Yeah,
rollerblades.
we
are we
Yeah.
double
rollerblades.
dipping there?
Yeah, that would just be a skin for Lucio.
Like, how many games do you know have both snowboarding and skiing?
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is a really
I
good-
I'm not
guess it
talking
would
about,
just
like,
be a
Sonic
skip for
Olympics.
Lucio.
You know, however, why this would make me happy if they added this to the game?
Why?
It would be the best Tony Hawk game made in the last decade.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
bird.
true. Yeah, what was Project 8? I think that was the last decent one. That was for like 10 years ago
I
at
didn't.
this point.
I didn't play it because
Project 8 is not bad. The rest of them after that point are bad, but
Yeah.
that is not a bad game.
especially the most recent one.
It is like 10 years ago. It was like for the first one on the 360.
Okay, yeah, I never played it. Never played that one. I had already been burnt out on it, so.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah, I could see, like we talked about on the show, like I could see Destiny characters fitting. I just don't think it's ever going to happen. It is strictly Blizzard, so.
Yeah. That's probably for the best because there's so many already. They need... The weird thing is when they start introducing new IPs like Overwatch, because then it's like, well, they only do like 12, 13, maybe 14 characters a year. How many of them need to be from the new IP?
Right.
Many of them can be from the new IP.
I'm not.
And do we give them a new quest when we only have like 1 or 2 heroes of them? Right
They
now we have
should-
no Lost Vikings
Yeah.
quests.
Right.
They should go up to 4 and then put in the quest.
That's fair.
I think that's
And
fair.
then
Yeah.
they can have one every week.
Yeah. I think
as
the way
part
they.
of the 10.
I think the way they've been handling it is fine, and I definitely don't think that there is any rule in place that it's like we have a new IP, guys. You have to develop heroes for the new IP. I don't think that's how it works. I mean,
I don't think that rule's in place. But I think it's a
I'm
good
sure there was
idea.
definitely a push to get one of them, and we are going to be getting Tracer like we saw at BlizzCon. But like, I don't. They definitely don't. From the like the way that they stagger the releases and the universes they come from, it doesn't seem like there's any type of rule in place. It seems like when they have an idea and a kit makes sense, it gets made, and if it's not
Totally.
and if it's not completely broken, they just implement
Yeah.
it into the game. Or
Well,
you
it-
get Cho'Gall, which, but that's another story.
Are there random characters in Overwatch that aren't heroes that would be like the Brightwing? I don't think there are.
I mean,
This guy from they could do they're doing animated stuff. So what if you got like an animated series only character in Heroes?
that could make sense. I could see that happening because we are going to, I
Like-
believe, getting comics and animated shorts set in Overwatch's
Like
universe.
Winston has a dad. He has glasses. That's where the glasses come from. So he could be a hero.
Right.
Winston's
but
dad.
But I think we'd have to tie it back in, almost like we had Winston's dad as the hero, but then Winston is Misha and runs around.
Maybe that's the ultimate. Like he summons his dad, the second heroic.
I love that idea. Just summoning a dumpy dad on the field. What? Where am I? A video game.
What is this stuff?
I don't think they showed like a preview. He's just like a scientist guy.
No, I know. He's like he's definitely like a super scientist. He's like the Powerpuff Kids dad.
Yeah, that is
Professor
a good
X?
comparison, yeah.
Professor X, yes. Wait, he mixed Chemical X? Oh, jeez, what a egotistical.
He named it after himself.
Oh,
Is
that's-
that? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, big news these last few days, huh?
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely, yeah. It dropped, and then we're like, oh, we have a call-in show today. This will be interesting.
And it
Yeah,
keeps
everyone
coming.
talking about the new stuff.
Well-
You talking about just the patch notes or the balance update that was posted 1 hour ago?
Oh, I didn't see the balance update.
Yep, we got a small one of those little mini Wednesday ones. A little bit.
I'll
of
have to look at that.
Yeah, we got some Hinterless Blast changes, Greymane
Ooh.
changes, Sergeant
Is
Hammer.
that the 1 second change to his thing that was in the PTR, but no one talked about, or they didn't put in the patch notes?
No, these are
other
completely
things.
different from the PTR. These are
Man.
100% unique.
That's not how they've been doing it. Huh? This is different.
But if you were reading the Heroes Nexus data mine patch notes, you saw these yesterday
Okay,
because they were included, of course, in the PTR because these are now live in our game.
that's interesting. So you hear that? So do you think that the PTR will just be rolling into the live game then?
I assume next week.
Yeah.
And these are the changes that are live today. And lots of it is the tooltip changing that they're working through, and lots of little fixes. I mean, but one of the big ones, like Greymane got a second off his disengage and his dark
Yep.
flight. He
Saw that.
only has to wait 5 seconds. That's huge.
That's great.
Yeah, that's exactly what he needs.
I also really like. I saw the thing about all the Rhaegar changes. Those are pretty cool. Yeah, it basically sounds like Rhaegar could come back.
Oh man, the dive built into level 1 Rhaegar
Yeah.
wolf form.
So I'm
It's
sorry.
not,
What?
Not
in-
even level 1. Just
all
like
right. I just
stock.
have sidebar. What the hell are you talking about?
These are the PTR changes for Rhaegar. He got reworked to heck.
Oh,
back.
so a balance update went live in the game, and then there's a separate balance update that went live in the PTR.
Yeah.
Yes.
What? Okay.
Stale meta no more.
I don't even know which one I was looking at this morning. At this point, I've only looked at one so far, and I'm not sure which one it was.
If it was this morning, you were looking at the PTR big changes that are going to roll out with Lee Ming.
Okay,
this
so-
is the
all
Wednesday
right.
update thing that they're going to be doing. They did last week, and now they've done
Yeah.
again this week.
People aren't going to be complaining about stale meta for a while, or at least until a few months, because they're just mixing it up every week.
How about this for you,
The
Garrett?
middle's-
Oh my God, the falling sword change.
Right. How about 50 plus damage on Sindragosa and 20-second cooldown reduction? That's
God-
pretty
There was
sweet.
the other
Yes.
heroic on Zeratul. It got cut from 100-second cooldown to 45-second cooldown.
That's PTR. That's not live.
Yeah, yeah, PTR.
How could we confuse these two?
I was just saying in general.
This is quite the stream of consciousness as we go
But no,
through this.
seriously, like one of the biggest changes here is Muradin's avatar, and it lost its stun.
Yeah.
That's such a
He
nerf.
already has a lot of stun. I think
Yes,
that's
no.
probably a good change.
I don't think he needed it. It was very frustrating on any character, but also reduced the power of Vala's Strafe, Nazebo's.
It was
Spirit.
one
I
of the
don't-
most
I don't know
overpowered
really
things
what's
in the game, in my
necessarily
opinion.
best on Muradin, but I really like the stun on his jump. That's really cool. I like taking that talent. I don't know if it's the best talent, but I like taking it because stun is cool.
Sure, stuns are cool.
Yeah.
And we need to reduce stuns in the game that are attached to other abilities, but
Yeah.
like we can't just go to Kael'thas and say like, whoops, your gravity lapse is no longer stunning. That's just silly.
It's now slow.
Right, but changing something like this it's a better. Yeah, can you imagine they're picked up in the air, but they're still going woo as they try to
Or
make
it's
a
just
move?
a root.
Yeah. Oh, gross.
Ooh, that
yeah.
sounds awful.
Yep.
No, I mean, it's the only stun KT has. I think it's fine that he has it.
Yeah, oh, sure, certainly.
As opposed to Muradin, who used to be able to just hit you over and over and stun you and stun you and stun you.
Yep.
I'm so okay with that change. Blunt Force Gun getting a much-needed buff from Sergeant Ham. My God, man. Yeah, I missed
But
this
important to note on
entirely.
that one, and this is happening with a lot of our area effect abilities. In fact, it's one of the things about Li Ming is it's a 3% per level increase on Blunt Force Gun. So powerful when you get at level 10, less powerful as the game goes on.
Huh. Yeah, I like now that that's the scaling changes, I like that it's now just plus 5% per level. That's a lot more easy to read than plus 2 or 3 or whatever it was before. Because then it's like, well, what does that mean? I don't know, whatever. Who cares?
Right.
We'll just feel, and we don't really know the health values in game anyway. If you say something does 300 damage, I go, okay, of what?
Guess that's good.
Yeah, I have to look it up on a website to see that 300 damage is half of Abathur's starting health.
Right. Yeah, percentage-based
Yeah.
stuff is a little easier to wrap your head around. But
Unless it comes to multipliers, damn it, Blizzard.
Yeah, Arthas, ETC, Johanna, Merdant, Hammer, Falstead, yeah.
I like that
They're busy
ETC.
over there.
Yeah, developer comments, yay!
Yeah.
I don't like how the PTR didn't have developer comments. It's just like, whoop, I don't know. Here it is.
They
little
go back
harder
and
to
change
just-
that stuff often, and they
I'm
We
sure
know
when
that-
it goes live, they will put in developer comments.
exactly. And when they put these up, they assume they might be changing anything, but they rarely do. They've never changed
Yeah.
really anything from the PTR to live, but they could. So
But
maybe they're
honestly,
just
it's-
I
saving the
wouldn't be
work.
surprised if they start because, they're saying like, oh, we're making more changes more rapidly. Maybe this is the time for you like, well, we're rolling out a pre-PTR patch to the live servers, and we're rolling out the PTR, and then we're going to do different stuff next week. I don't know.
This has basically been like a really jealous boyfriend and or girlfriend.
Yeah.
And they're just, oh, where have you been? You're never around. You're cheating on me. What are you doing, Blizzard? And then they were planning you the biggest birthday party ever. And you finally show up and you're embarrassed as heck because you've complained to all your friends for a month now
Stale meta.
that they hate you. Yeah, right. Stale relationship. But nope, they love you.
It was
Yeah.
timing. It was just it was a bad time to have a gap in iteration.
It'll probably just be bug fixes from the PTR because there is like a few I saw, and I only played like a few PTRs because, in quick, I don't really do well in quick match in PTR because my matchmaking, puts me up against whoever is just in PTR,
Yeah,
who are apparently really good.
There's no MMR. Though over time we will build an MMR there, so
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Hopefully,
Never
I
really
lose a
thought of
lot,
that.
so maybe eventually it'll put me with the other people that lose a lot.
There you go, man. One day the assassin for you is going to come out and you're going to jump in the PTR and just wipe out all the noobs.
And it's gonna
Yeah.
really throw off your judgment of the new hero.
But
You're
there's like a glitch where Rhaegar's, he has a talent now that'll make him move in the PTR that lets him move the totem, and apparently what Rhaegar's are doing are moving the totem to the sky, so it's just a giant totem in the way of the camera. If you are positioned just wrongly, you
Wow.
can see like the totem just flying 1,000 feet over the battlefield or whatever.
Wow,
And it's pretty dumb.
that's hilarious.
Yeah, they'll probably fix that. I hope.
I assume.
Had that happen in StarCraft the other day when my mercenary banshees left. I moved the camera in just a perfect way that I saw them ascend and become massive on my screen.
Perfect.
Yep. Those textures, they don't hold up at that scale, just FYI.
That happened on, what was it, a swooping strike off Rexar the other day? I felt like I was playing old Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yeah, when the foot would like fly at the screen and smack in the clouds. Wonderful. Well, Master DS, thanks for calling in, man.
Yep.
We're going to be talking a lot about this stuff tomorrow. It's going to be a long show with, again, probably no strategy segment because there's too much stuff to talk about.
Just be glad that you did it before your Thursday show, so you got the Zool and just Li Ming talk out of the way.
Yeah.
Imagine like shows that do Wednesday, Tuesday. They have, they're in a bad spot because they have to talk about the Zool reveal and then just go right into, we played the other hero that was revealed. So,
for once, our scheduling has worked in our favor.
Yeah.
Usually doesn't happen like that. But thanks for calling in, man.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Later.
Oh, I did not know that there was a second patch.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Had a busy work morning, but saw the first one. This is nuts, man. I like all of these. I like that we're seeing buffs. The thing that I'm finding hilarious, and I'll just say this now before we end, because I know we're going to be talking tomorrow about all this stuff, but last week, the slam buff for Stitches, bringing him back to where he was. Now we're seeing ETC get a damage buff, on stage dive, but still, like, are they just moving the older warriors back to the place where they used to be?
It seems like it, but it's alts here, mostly for the warriors.
Yeah, for Arthas and ETC, yeah. And I mean, Arthas really hasn't been tinkered with, but ETC had a damage nerf a while ago. I mean, Stitches straight up had a slam nerf quite a while ago. So I guess it's not really as big of an impact for ETC, but
it's hard to tell where they're going with it. The Sonya nerf that is in the PTR right now, for most people, feels really unwanted because we've learned how to counter it. Most people have learned to finally not stand in the whirlwind and heal up Sonya.
Right. I didn't even see that. I'm scrolling down to it. Oh, it's a seismic slam nerf.
Yes, and mainly on the range is the important one for me, because nothing's more frustrating than getting away and getting behind your wall, and that slam comes barreling through the wall and hits you and kills you. So I'm A-okay with the change myself. And I think it's good that we're bringing Sonya in damage line with our other bruisers, because I want to play Anubarak. I want to play Skeleton King outside of these really insane niche locations they have right now.
No, I'm right there with. I miss Anubarak so much. I miss him being a regular pick. I mean, yeah. I mean, do you think the change to Muradin will make Anubarak more enticing because he has so many stuns?
Well, let's take a look at this in context of the PTR. So Avatar is losing its stun. Health bonus increased by 124 right now.
That's not in reference to the PTR. That is live.
No, that's what I'm going the live one right now.
Oh, gotcha.
And a cooldown reduction of 10. But if we go over to the PTR notes, that health pool is insane.
What health pool?
On Avatar. Like here for this week, we're getting, like 100 hit point increase. Sure, Giant Killer might be more powerful against him, whatever, but that's still pretty good for the guy.
Is there an overall health pool increase on the PTR? Because I'm not seeing any changes for Muradin on the PTR.
Interesting, yeah. It must have, so that was the data mined patch note, so they must have been wrong yesterday. So this point was invalid.
Okay, yeah. Here, I'm sending you the link for the official PTR patch notes.
No, I got it here. I was looking at Heroes Nexus as they data mined live yesterday during my stream.
Gotcha. Well, I mean,
so they actually did reduce this a bit for today's live one.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's interesting.
I don't know. I think Muradin's still fine. I mean, he's a good tank. I don't think he necessarily needs basic attack stuns.
No. I mean, real dedicated Muradins are really going to miss them, and it would mess up anything you're up to. Stutter stepping, getting off any cast that had any sort of wind-up animation, including, like, Raynor, who would just go with his gun. Like, that little bit of wind-up and gun going back with the force of it could be interrupted.
Yeah. Well, sweet. Shall we call it there? I believe we're out of callers.
Sweet. Yes.
We had a big windfall at the very beginning, and some of them just sadly probably ran out of time. But we got the rest, so we're good.
Understandable. Top of the hour, lunch breaks and all that.
got a big show for you tomorrow, everyone. So make sure you tune in. And, well, that's going to do it. Thanks again to our patrons over at patreon.com/ITN, because without them, we wouldn't be doing this episode. So thank you guys so much for supporting the show, for allowing us to put more time into the show and bring you extra content like this episode. Find Kyle on Twitter at Kyle Ferguson, KyleFerguson.com. Find me at Garrett Art and at nomoonart.com. Find all of these shows at amove.tv. And thanks again to our patrons. Good luck and have fun, everyone.
Take care.